What's going on, guys? Welcome back to LOI Fan TV. I'm joined once again by Luke to look ahead to the next round of fixtures in the LOI Premier Division. Obviously, these games take place on the Monday evening, on the bank holiday weekend. Obviously, had a action-packed Friday night of football, which we'll be kind of touching on throughout the video. But Luke, how are things, mate? All good?
All good, yeah, no, ticking fast. The fixtures are coming, so yeah, no, delighted to be kind of in the mix of it. Happy days.
Yeah, yeah. Tough schedule, isn't it? Monday, it seems Monday, Friday
I'm
every weekend.
going.
Like,
Even for me and you, some going.
yeah, yeah. We'll jump straight into it. Obviously, as I touched on before we started filming, I think the Derry and Shells playing this week on Monday night. Obviously, a big game at the top of the table, which you'll have close eyes on as a Shamrock Rovers fan yourself. As well as that, we have a big game down the bottom of the table as well, a loud derby between Drogheda and Dundalk, which is one we'll actually touch on first. We'll jump into that one straight away. Obviously, a massive game with kind of big ramifications for both sides. I think that's 10th and ninth in the league currently facing off in that one. So big game at Oriel Park. Dundalk coming into this one off the back of a point against Shells and a well-earned point. They actually looked the kind of better side. And that's 4 points from them from the last two games. So it looks like they're kind of starting to kick into motion a little bit. Well, definitely kind of two encouraging performances since Noel King's come in.
Yeah, for sure. Noel King's definitely got them ticking. Like as I said at the start of the season, like you look at them on paper and they have a good team. Like if you're Andy Buzz, your Daryl Horgans, your Robbie Benson's, even though there's a lot of inexperience there, there's also a lot of experience. So on one hand, it's surprising the fact that he's got them playing so well, but on the other hand, it's like, you know what? Like they actually have good players, so it's
Yeah.
not that surprising. So yeah, like if I suppose you're to look at this game on paper, kind of players wise, you would fancy Dundalk, and after recent run of form, you would fancy Dundalk. Then again, like obviously Drogheda went to Pat's an out of form Pat side, and we're on the wrong side of a 1-0. But like,
Yeah.
yeah, my instincts here say Dundalk even though it is in United Park. So I'm probably gonna go. I'm gonna say 2-1 Dundalk. I have a feeling.
200 off,
What
big
do you
call.
think?
That would actually take them off the bottom of the table
Yeah.
for the first time in a while as well. And it would have Drogheda at the bottom of the table. Drogheda, as you touched on there, obviously against Pats. And it was a fairly even contest, to be fair. Obviously, I think Pats was probably slightly the better side, but
Hmm.
Drogheda certainly had a chance. I think they hit the post from a corner. It looked kind of threatening enough from set pieces and things like that. And Warren Davis and Perot had good chances towards the end to level the scoring as well. So a decent showing from them. But obviously, they do find themselves in ninth. So as you said, this is a massive game. Do you think this is the bottom two at the end of the season?
It's looking that way, isn't it? But then again,
Yeah,
like you look at the recent run of form from Dundalk, and you're like, I wonder where they're going to be in a few games' time. Because obviously
yeah.
Sligo are in the rut.
Sligo
Drogheda
slipping. Yeah,
got a win against Sligo, but apart from that, haven't really been that good win wise. So
yeah,
yeah, you just don't know. You just don't. As this league has taught us so far this year, you can't predict any results. So, it wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me if you're actually looking at this in 10 games time. There's a different bottom two. It's just one of those
yeah,
leagues.
yeah. 100%. I'm gonna actually lean towards. It's going to lean towards Drogheda, but I might actually go for a draw, I think. Obviously, Dundalk kicked on a bit. So I'll go for a 1-1 here, but I think it'll be a very nervy contest. And it wouldn't even surprise me if it's a 0-0, one of those kind of games where both sides don't want to lose
Yeah.
any ground on each other kind of thing. So yeah, I'll go for a 0-0 there. Next up, we travel to Dalymount Park, Bohemians playing host to Galway United. They're both obviously with a decent point against Rovers last time out. They're fourth in the league on 20 points, but actually have a game in hand on the teams above them. Lucas Piszczek, I think that's is it Lucas? It's Piszczek anyway. He
Yeah.
got the
Yeah.
open the scoring for him. Good finish for Bows. Obviously playing host to Galway, who drew 0-0 with Derry. And Galway, like I was just looking at their kind of last five. They're unbeaten in the last five, albeit four draws and one win. There's actually four clean sheets in the last five games as well. So it's a real kind of trademark of a really well drilled Caulfield and Horgan side. And they had a couple of chances against Derry as well, to nick the win. But yeah, they'll travel to Dalymount. Obviously, if they can keep another clean sheet, they'll maybe fancy their chances at trying to nick this one.
Yeah, for sure. Ollie Horgan has really well drilled. Even the fact that John Caulfield is on the touchline there, and you can kind of see like the inner manager and Ollie Horgan coming out and kind of how well they've been drilled. And like, yeah,
Yeah,
as I said, to get a draw against Derry at home and not concede is it's a trademark of them. They're really well drilled. And on the other hand, like Bohemians from the game on Friday, which I was at,
yeah,
I don't know. I don't know what it is about Bo. It's like even though we didn't get you got the prediction right in the Bows game, but even though like exactly take the W. Yeah, like what I was saying before the game kind of stood in the sense that like they don't have that magic player. Like there's no real kind of when you look at Bows, you don't say that player win them game. It's just kind of they set up well. They're kind of
Yeah.
hard to beat, a bit like Galway, but I feel like Galway do it a bit better, to be honest. So looking at this game, I can't really see a winner, to be honest. It's similar enough. Like I wouldn't be surprised if this was a draw too. So I'm probably gonna lean towards a 1-1.
1-1, yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's an interesting because I kind of touched on the previous video. Like I was kind of trying to think of like the Bow squad. Like they're all kind of industrious wingers and stuff, Rooney and Connolly. And obviously I think James
Yeah,
Clark is probably the nearest thing to what they have to being that
yeah,
kind of match winner player, isn't he,
yeah.
really, in terms of that. But if you're going back through their teams throughout the years, you always had like a whether it be a Mandrew or a kind of Devoy or a Tierney or and Danny Grant was
Afalabi
in his
or
pomp.
yeah.
Yeah, Falabi. Danny Grant's the one you'd really like to see maybe kick on a little bit. I don't think he's getting much game time, but look, see, come on Friday.
I can't even remember. James
Mm.
Clark came on. He was their best player when he did. So like I
Yeah,
agree with you on that point. Like James Clark was the only real Bulls player I looked at in a tight space and I was like, you know what, he could actually hurt us. Whereas
yeah,
the other players are kind of just a bit industrious, as you say, kind of hard work and marking their man. And that was really what Bulls were. Like in the second half, they had zero opportunities. Like they had a little spell in the end, but apart from that, it was just kind of it was one-way traffic for and they scored on the back of our mistakes. So it was just that's kind of what you get with Bulls. You know, like to be fair
yeah.
to them if you make a mistake, they'll punish you. But apart from that, they're not going to take the game to you. So that's why I'm kind of looking at this game going. And I'm like, they're not really going to cause Galway that much hassle, you know?
Yeah, even thinking back that's in Ali Cute as well. He was a player that maybe had like he didn't get in all the time,
Yeah.
but had a little bit of magic in him as well, didn't he? And they're
Liam
just
Burt as
missing
well. Yeah.
Liam Burt. Yeah, just
Yeah.
they're missing that little bit of
Mm.
creative magic in the final third. But like I do think that I think about it maybe suits Reynolds having those types of players maybe just do suit his style of play and
Yeah.
probably will earn them like a solid mid-table finish, you'd imagine, come the end of the season. Probably like yeah, I imagine it'll be kind of fifth or fourth or something. But yeah, for this one, I think a draw is a good shout, but I'm actually going to lean towards a bit of a shock away win here. I think Galway might just nick this one. Ed McCarthy actually looks really, really good this season, to be fair to him. Obviously, a little bit of a controversial figure from the start of the season with the Instagram posts and all that stuff. But in terms of his performances and his long throws as well, which are a real, real danger, he's looked like a super, super talent. So I'm going to actually go for Galway to nick this, similarly to how Waterford nicked it away at Bows recently. I'm gonna go for Galway to nick this one, which would be a massive, massive 3 points for them. And we'll move on to actually kind of touch on their Shamrock Rovers. They play host to Waterford. Obviously, you mentioned Rovers draw with Bows there on Friday night. Johnny Kenny on the score sheet again. He's actually looked like a much improved player off last season from what I've seen of him this season so far. What was your take on Rovers' performance on Friday night?
We had chances, but we probably should have won the game off the chances which we had.
Yeah,
It's a bit of a trademark of us this season. Like we don't really put games away, and we should. We don't have that ruthless streak in us. But then again, like the performances are good.
yeah,
Like the second half was outstanding. Darren Nugent, but like he was the best
quality
player on
comp.
the pitch in Daily Mount by a mile. Like
Yeah,
I can't remember him misplacing one pass. Every time he got the ball, he turned his man and he'd make a forward ball. Like it was just for somebody that kind of has been last season he was an unused sub, and the season before he was out on loan at Drogheda. So
I was
for him to
thinking
come into
Drogheda,
this,
wasn't he? Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
for him to kind of come into the side and be kind of like Robert fans are saying he's definitely the most improved, but some Robert fans even saying he's probably our player of the season so far.
wow,
So like so with the likes of Jack Byrne and Neil Ferrugia kind of coming into the mix now as well, it's exciting. It gives us some options, but then again, we have lost Dylan Watts and Dara Burns went off injured as well. So it's
Jesus Christ, like.
so like you get two, you lose two. So that's
Yeah.
just the nature of the beast this season. But
I was
sure,
about to
look,
say massive positive. Jack Burns back, like at long last, he's back. But Dylan
you're
Watson
almost
now,
trained.
bro.
You're
Yeah,
almost trained, and you're like, all right, we lose a right wing back. We're getting Neil Ferrugia, right? We'll take Ferrugia back, and you're like, ah,
yeah,
but it's just one of those. Like you think when you get two back, you lose three. So it's just the nature of it. But
yeah,
nah, like Waterford on the back of a good result as well against Sligo, so they'll be in good spirits as well after kind of a bit of a rush from themselves. But yeah, Monday night, I just think it kind of suits us the kind of regular games, whereas someone like a Waterford newly promoted side kind of come in like have their 11 and they'll probably be a bit fatigued, whereas we can kind of make a few changes as I said, Fruge and Byrne come back, so probably gonna lean towards a home win here.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 2-0 Rovers. What do you
Two
think?
nil, nice. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, Waterford are a tough side. They're obviously they're winning against Sligo on Friday night, saw them climb above Sligo into seventh place.
Yeah.
Thought for the goal, Patterson scored for Waterford just after half time. Did you see the goal? I thought McGinty could have maybe done a little bit better. I'm not sure if you saw it, but it was kind of looked straight on. Maybe the power on it was too much, but I thought McGinty could have done a little bit better with it. But for Waterford, hugely positive result, and that's one loss in the last 5 games for them. So they're really, really kicking into gear this season. Obviously still in seventh place, but that kind of middle of the park table is is kind of really tight still at this stage of the season. So Waterford done really, really well under kind of gone under the radar touch with under Keith Long. Obviously losing Alan Reynolds throughout the season as well was a bit of a blow for them, but they've kind of recovered well. But as you say, I think Rovers should be too strong for them here. They have enough quality. Darragh Burns, I didn't realize he went off injured. And Dylan Watts, that's two significant ones. If you'd like to think from your perspective that they're not too serious of injuries, but yeah, I think Rovers should be a good value for it here. I'll go for a 3-1 Shamrock Rovers win.
It's just the Monday night nature of it as well. You kind of lean towards the full time side in that sense, like
Yeah,
we saw with draw to come to Tala and kind of they weren't able to hack it. It's just how it goes. So
yeah.
yeah,
Waterford off
definitely
the
the
back
month.
of a trip to Sligo Friday, then Dublin
Yeah, for
on
sure. And as I said, we
Wednesday.
just we just crossed over to Daily, so like it probably does suit us, and I wouldn't be surprised
Yeah.
to see it win the game. So
Next up, Sligo Rovers playing host to St. Pat's, and Sligo Rovers. We kind of briefly touched on it earlier in the video that they've fallen off a cliff. Really, to be honest, they were kind of at the start of the season we were thinking, Jesus, it could be a European shout here for them here, and they've dropped off big time. No wins in their last 5 games. Obviously a home loss to Waterford is bitterly disappointing. Max Mata had a decent chance in the first half, but still I don't know what it is with them. They're just lacking something at the moment. Saw John Russell's getting a little bit of stick post game. I'm not sure if you saw his comments after the game, giving out about how Sligo have to travel here and have travel there and stuff like that. But it's just the nature of the league. Like it's what you sign up for. It's no surprises. Like obviously it is. You feel sympathy for him, but it's a strange time to do it off the back of a home game.
this is a bit of like battle of the bums, like like two teams that are like really, really like I've been both underwhelmed this season. Like Sligo had a great start to the year, and Pats have just been sewing. I know they won on Friday night, but like like it's just from how you imagine the kind of Pats to be, they're really under par.
Yeah.
And it's really unconvincing. And then Sligo have really been on a downward spiral. Like, but even when they played us a few weeks back, they were really kind of for a squad that has Max Mata, Ed McGinty, and the
Yeah,
likes
yeah.
John Mahon, they're just not showing it. So, yeah, it's one of these results you can see it going anyway. You flip a coin on it, but I might as well. I'm gonna go towards the draw here. I just can't see. It's not that I can't see our team when I just don't know who. It's just one of those. I can see it being a bit of a dead rubber, so I'm probably gonna lean towards a 1-1 or a 2-2. I'll go 2-2, a bit of goals. So yeah,
2-2, yeah, yeah. Bit
yeah.
of excitement, why not?
Yeah.
Yeah, Pats is a funny one. Battle of the Bums, absolutely love that, by the way. Uh, St. Pat's, I thought Rory Keane coming back into the mix made a massive difference for them. He got the goal, of course, really good finish for him. And Pat's really did deserve the goal off the first half, but second half it was an even contest. And yeah, Pats were maybe lucky to escape with all 3 points there. They still look a little bit suspect at times. I know we kind of touched on like the setup and the kind of fluidity in their play and stuff. And it just seemed they look like they kind of lose the ball in midfield a few times. And I think after that Warren Davis chance that I mentioned earlier, I think Brandon Cavanagh lost the ball in midfield a bit sloppy. They just look a little bit suspect still. So that is definitely a concern for them. But obviously, mate, getting a win was so important. We kind of touched on John Daly and his job in the previous video, and it was important for him to get 3 points. If he can back it up, it is a winnable game for Pats. That's not making a mistake. And like it's a definitely winnable game for them. If they can get another 3 points on the board, things will start looking a lot healthier. And I think they will. I think they should be better than good Sligo here. They just have enough quality in their side, even like you're looking across St. Keane Levy and Cavan as mentioned, and Rory Keaton come back into the mix is a huge difference. And I think he will kick on now after that goal, because he was getting in good positions before, wasn't as clinical as maybe you would like him to be, but he's certainly a cracking striker. So yeah, I think Pats will just about nick this one 1-0, 1-0 on Monday night in the showgrounds, but it's hard to know.
It's one of those like what version of Pats turns up and what version of Sligo turns up, and
Yeah,
I feel
both
like
think this is.
whichever team turns up will win the game. It's just one of those. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see how it plays out.
Then finally, massive game at the top of the table. One that you'll be firmly looking at the results coming in. Obviously, in the Brandywell, Derry City playing host to Shelburne. We have third playing host to first. 3 points separating the sides at the moment, with Shamrock Rovers sandwiched in between them currently. As we mentioned earlier, Derry obviously off the back of a 0-0 draw away at Galway. The last 5 games they've won two, drawn two, lost one. A little bit inconsistent, is kind of what we've come to expect from them this season so far a little bit. They did have good chances to win it. I think they had most of the ball as you'd expect against Galway, but still looked a little bit suspect at certain times with long throws and stuff as well. So there's probably areas that Shales will target to get at them. Um, but Derry will be looking to close the gap on that top of the league. Shels on the other hand, obviously, it's a poor performance to be honest at Oriel Park on Friday. And it seems to be like a theme with them really where we can get up for the big massive games against the teams at the top. Your Dublin derbies and stuff. Our record this season has been relatively good. Barring the Talca Park game against Bows, it's been really really good so far this season. So it seems we can get up for those games and maybe it just suits us more playing against the better sides. Whereas when we have to go break somebody down or something, we can struggle a little bit with that kind of creativity at times and get a foothold in the game. But the kind of message from Duff and from I saw Cameron Edwards did a post-match interview as well was when you don't win games, make sure you don't lose them. And that seems to be the kind of team with Shels really. So in that regard, it was a decent point. And Duff was funny kind of before the game as well. He was saying that this will be our toughest game in a long time and all this kind of stuff. So obviously you can see that we need to get more the players more up for these kind of games against teams in the bottom. A trip to Oriel Park's never too inspiring. Like at the best of times, like in that pitch and in that stadium as well. So he was really trying to rally the players before the game, and it just never really got going. Decent chance towards the end. Sean Boyd a decent strike, and Shane Farrell actually came on after his suspension, which was a good highlight for him, and he actually did really really well. So it's good to see that as well and get a bit of a reaction from him from Duff. But what this one's tough. What are you thinking for this one?
If I look at both Derry and Shells individually from like our experience with them this season, I definitely think the Shells are more the convincing side. I know you were saying like you struggled to finish, but to be fair, like every team in the league this season is kind of in the same boat with that department. Like you can look at Derry up in Galway, you look at
Yeah,
us against Bows. Like it's just a tight league. I don't even think it's the case of like not having natural match winners in your finish in your starting 11, but it's just one of those leagues, isn't it? Like, but here. I'm just thinking from a Duff perspective. If you're going up to Derry, after on the back of a draw, and you're kind of looking at the league, you're like, right, we're 2 points clear. If we don't lose this game and Rovers win, we're level top going away to Derry. And I think if you gave that to Duff now, he'd take it. So I'm probably
100%.
going to lean towards a draw. I'm going to say 1-1. I just have a
1-1.
feeling that I just have a feeling that Shells will go up there with a good game plan. Someone will get a goal, and then Shells will either react or defend, and it'll be a draw. So
Yeah, yeah. I think you're dead right in terms of Duff would definitely snap your hand off for that at the moment.
yeah.
I think any team going to Derry, like at any stage of the season, no matter what, like will probably take a point. In isolation, it's never a bad result at all. So yeah, I think a draw is probably a fair result. I think it'll be a tight fixture, like it'll be a tight game, and there'll be probably it could be a mistake or something from either side that might settle it, or just a moment of magic. And I think Derry arguably maybe have the players that could do that, but obviously we've Will Jarvis and your Burts and stuff. But I think your Patchings and your Duffys and stuff, like I think both teams have a match winner in them.
Hmm.
But it's just a case of if they can get it going on a Monday night in Derry. That's a big question mark for me. So I think I'll go with the draw as well. I think I'll go for a 0-0. As boring as that is, I think Shels will be get their second 0-0 draw in a row and travel back to Dublin happy enough with the points in the bag.
Yeah, well, Derry cough up chances. Like it's evidently clear in all their games. So even if you do go behind in that game, you definitely will get a chance. And I just think the form which you're in, yeah, you've kind of you've mellowed out now a bit from kind of that rut you were in.
Yeah,
So it's not like you're not in crisis mode anymore. You're kind of a bit more composed.
yeah, 100%. Shells as well, looking at their kind of next couple of games as well. Once they get through this one, they have a couple of like winnable games. They've Drogheda, they've Waterford, the Pats again. So couple of winnable games. So I think you get through this level on points with Rovers, maybe. Yeah, you definitely take that. And yeah, the title race will start kind of really heating up then coming up to kind of the halfway point. I think if we're still one or two first second at that halfway point, you can really start saying like, okay, we're in this mix, but obviously there's such a long way to go still, and it's hard to tell how things are going to pan out.
Yeah, there's a silly argument going around. It's like, will Shells hang in there? Like it's clear that yous are title contenders, and that when the last round of fixtures come around, yous will be there and thereabouts. Like there's none of the. I don't buy into the Shells. They're only new to the top of the league. Like they'll fall off the way Bows did. Like I just think that it's gonna be like yeah, it's gonna take twists and turns throughout. But I think when it comes down to it, you'll be there and thereabouts. I think you'll be closer than there you'll be. So yeah, it's gonna be an interesting watch for sure.
I'll still think if you offered me like third guaranteed Europe, I'll probably take it to be fair, like at this stage. But like because it's still progression as well from Shells from fourth to
Sure.
third. But like I just yeah,
It's a
it's
win.
just
It's
just
a
kind of
win-win.
Yeah, yeah. I think the top three be a top fantastic season. But like, listen, see how it pans out. But there you have it, guys. Scoreline predictions ahead of the next round of fixtures in the LOI Premier Division. I hope you did enjoy the video. Make sure to get your predictions down in the comments below. We'll be replying to the comments as well. And do drop a like in the video if you don't mind as well. It'd be fantastic. And lastly, please do subscribe if you are new. It is much appreciated. Luke, pleasure as always, mate.
Cheers, Ross. Thank you.